Hey, so I haven't been doing videos for a while, and I kind of want to get back on it. And I'm a little nervous because I haven't done it in a while, and feel kind of out of practice, but here we are. I've been thinking about doing book reviews because I've been trying to do a lot more reading. Like, I've been trying to do more reading, and so one of the things that kind of has occurred to me as I have been doing a little more reading, just like I've read like a few books, not a lot, but as I've been doing some reading, I'm like, oh man, like I really wish there was book reviews about this stuff that I could have found before I read this thing, like for whatever reason, or like there are things I'm finding interesting. So I have one in mind that I'm going to do another day, but we're gonna just crack these out because this is just, again, to get my fucking toes in the water or whatever, to break the figurative ice, as it were, of me making videos, because this is such like a mental block for me to do a thing. So here I am with two overdue library books. We're gonna start with this one here, Stan Lee, How Marvel Changed the World. I saw this at the library and I was like, this looks really interesting and really cool, and I've always liked comic books, and I'm like, don't know where to start or like what to do or where to go. So I saw this and I picked it up off of the shelf and I read it. I'm really proud of myself because it is like a dense read. It's just a lot of information. It's just like a lot of historical information. There's a few like jabs and jokes in that, and I think that the guy that writes it does a decent job of that. I actually took notes on like all the movies and media that like influenced Stan Lee, or that were important to certain cornerstones of Marvel's development and like things like that, so that I can hopefully Google them later, like the Jack Benny program, or like that I guess like Doctor Strange was like sort of inspired by this like Shandu the Magician, which is like really like, it's a product of its time, is addressed in here, but I wanted to kind of check that stuff out, and also check out like different comic series and things that are all talked about, or like certain artists. The one thing that I would have changed about this book is pictures. I think that pictures are a very useful piece of history. I think it would have been very useful to not just say like, oh, with like the emblematic style of Steve Ditko's fucking drawing or whatever, Jack Kirby, blah, like fucking show me, like put a picture in there. And I guess that's what the Google machine is for, right? But so that would have been nice. But the other thing that I took issue with is that at the end of this book, let me pull it up. I'm salty about this because this is like, this bothers me so much. So where is it? Okay, so there's like some quote by Tim Quinn, one of the workers in Marvel, one of the illustrators, or writer, artist, and editor. And like, they talk about like Stan Lee and apparently also Yoko Ono supported some project that Tim Quinn was working on. I don't know if it was a piece of writing, a book, created a book. So yeah, Quinn created a book to raise awareness and help remove the stigma associated with AIDS. And then it doesn't tell me what the name of the book is. It doesn't tell me the title. Like, to me, like, that's just really counterintuitive and like annoying when like there's a thing that's like, hey, we did this thing to raise awareness about this thing, and then like they don't tell you about the thing that was to raise awareness. Like, I would like to know what that book was called. I'm looking on Google and I am finding nothing. Like, did this book not get published and like just Stan Lee like supported it, or like, do we not know about it? Is it like being kept hush-hush by the fucking like federal government? I don't know, like, you know what I mean? Because it was such, I mean, like, the AIDS endemic, whatever, the AIDS, how it passed in the 80s was such a political thing. It was such a religious thing. It was such a thing against the gay community. And that's like really tragic. And I think that's really cool that Tim Quinn wrote a thing and that Stan Lee supported it. I'm upset that we don't know what the name of this thing is. Like, I'm upset that that wasn't included, because like I feel like that would be really important to, you know, as I'm taking notes about like media that I want to be looking at and like finding more about. That's one of the things that I can't find any information on, and so that's like a little heartbreaking for me. But if you want to know about Marvel, if you want to know about Stan Lee and his like background, it's okay. You know, worth a read. One of my friends was telling me that there was another book called True Believer that is released, or is going to be released, that's supposed to be a little more of a harsher look. This one does say, like, on the back it says, like, this is not some rose-tinted tribute. No stone is left unturned to uncover Stan Lee, the good, the bad, and the strange. But it's like, you know, it does address like some of the ugliness in Stan's life, and I think that's cool. And like some of the like terrible things that happened with Marvel, you know, before it was Marvel, even the CEO was super greedy, and like how Stan had to like lay people off, and like terrible things that happened. But it's just really interesting because, like, I don't know, I think that's cool that like they talk about that. But I think it's interesting that there's going to be another book that's a little darker, or a little more critical, I guess. The other book is Persepolis. This was such an easy read. It's so great because, you know, we're talking pictures. Pictures, baby. We love a good picture book. And this one I would recommend. I read like the part 1 in high school. It was part of my English class, my literature class. And it, you know, we had a whole discussion about, you know, what is literature versus like just a book, like what is, you know, how many pictures can be in a piece of literature. And I think that's an interesting debate to kind of talk about that. And I'm still like not super decided on like how I would define that, because like I think that there is, you know, a point of like, yeah, you can't just slap a painting on the wall and call that literature or a book. But you know, anyways, all that to say, that one I do recommend. Go check it out. There's a movie on it too. It is a really insightful look at the Iranian conflict. Oh god, look at me. I mean, like, I just finished this book a few weeks ago, and I'm already like, I believe that, you know, she really talked, it's a lot of the stuff about the Middle East, about how I think Iran. So how like the kind of socio-political stuff in Iran, you know, there was an oppressive government, but then there was radicals, or, you know, people that were revolutionaries that then became so religious zealots that like it was its own like terrible thing. And I just think that's like, it's a really, really interesting, really complex look at a political thing that has very massively affected some people's lives. And it's like so wild to me rereading it now as an adult, because when I read it in high school, like I was in my head thinking, oh, this woman is in her 20s, going to Europe, doing this stuff. No, she's like 14 when her parents like send her to Austria. Like, she is a child, she's a youth. And like, I think by the time the book's over, she's only like 19 or 20. Like, it's wild, the stuff that she went through. And you know, it's kind of crazy for me to think about like all the life I've lived, and like, sure, like I've dealt with some shit, but like I sure as shit ain't dealt with none of that. So like, it's really good. She does a great job of illustrating and just kind of like telling her story. And like, it's interesting to me because she like talks about the way that she sees things, and she has a really good voice that's a little matter of fact, and you can tell she has a little bit of that judging personality. But I think that is so, me as a perceptive person, like, to me that is very interesting to see how people, you know, kind of see things, and how people weigh, you know, right or wrong, or like what is important to them. So I took a few notes on that too, and like a little sticky note. I was just gonna like kind of try to embellish on those. I was trying to take notes. I bought this journal and I just loved the colors. Look, it matches my Ace glasses. How great is that? But anyways, so I tried to kind of take a few notes in there, and I also just like was writing about just like kind of how my day is, or like what's on my mind. I'm trying to just clear my mind by writing more, because I feel like sometimes I get so caught up in like ideas, and I dwell, and I like get in these cycles, and like I just feel like writing it down might help. You know, it's a little self-care, this little, you know, little thing for me, just a little I can take care of myself, my mental health. Anyways, I'm done. This was goofy. I'm gonna share it. I'm gonna be really embarrassed because I'm just, I'm struggling, you know? But thank you for watching if you made it this far, and I hope you're having a wonderful day, and let me know what you think. If you've read those books, if you'd be interested in more information about those books, if there are books you would like me to discuss or read or check out, whatever. I don't know, man. Don't have to like and subscribe. This is some trash. This is some trash we're putting on the internet. The internet is so full of trash. Anyways. Yeah, so I'm gonna go return these books because they're 2 months overdue. Whoops. Fun fact though, St. Louis Library anyways does not have any late fees apparently, so that's cool. I would pay them late fees anyways because, oh my god, 2 months overdue, and they like auto renew them. They're great. They're just great, you know. Go to your local library. Moral of the story, go to your local library, go support some librarians, go be like, hey, like, people are using this public service, maybe we should fund it a little more. That'd be great. So anyways, I'm gonna go do that. Y'all take care, and I'll see you guys in the next video.